Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' It's D. About to react to this impressive vid. This is Rihanna, Beyonce, and Taylor are saving the music industry. And Normani and Chloe Bailey album delays. I'm so tired of their albums that we've been waiting on for years, but whatever. Yeah, we're gonna see how they're specifically saving the music industry. I see she has another video about Kanye that a few of you have asked me to react to. I don't want to hear anything about Kanye, to be honest. So I'm not reacting to anything related to him. I'm tired of him and his shenanigans. I'm bored of it, and there's that. So yeah, we're just gonna focus on these lovely queens and see what's happening with them. Let's watch. Well, Queens and Taylor.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive channel. There are a few music topics I want to get into in this video. I did hear a report that Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Rihanna will be touring next year. Now, Beyonce already confirmed it, and Taylor also hinted at it. And rumors are swirling that Rihanna might be kicking off a tour next year as well. So it's going to be a pretty big era in music, and it seems like a lot of well-established artists are coming back out, and they all seem to be coming out around the same time. And it kind of makes me wonder, well, are they coming out to save the music industry from its drought? Because the music industry has been a little dry. Yeah. I will say that. Yeah. And I've kind of noticed it by looking at chart data and looking at all the first week sales. A lot of artists have been suffering when it comes to numbers, and it's at a point where older music is actually outselling the new music. And Billboard did a whole write-up about the state of music today. They're saying that there's too many songs and not enough hits. Yes. They're also talking about how much of a struggle it is to actually break new artists. And honestly, new artists today can succeed without labels. They could get a viral hit on TikTok, and they could pay for their own playlisting and put in their own work without the help of a major label. Also, the way people listen to music these days have changed. People no longer listen to the radio like that. So a lot of these entities in the music industry are losing their influence and power. People are not buying music like that. They're streaming, so they're losing money as well. And a lot of label executives are concerned because they have to put out money to invest in these newer artists, but they're not getting back what they want in return. And this is why a lot of times the labels aren't really investing in their artists like that. They much rather their artists do the work by themselves and get the hits by themselves before putting money into them. I kind of do feel bad for the new artists on these labels because they do have to fight and prove that they are worth the investment. But the music industry is in a tricky place right now, and the labels are at a point where they are relying on established artists only, which is why Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Rihanna coming back out is a big deal, because these are the heavy hitters. These are the pop artists who are going to sell. They not only sell out records, but they also sell out stadiums, and the industry can make massive amounts of money with these three alone. Beyonce is 20 plus years in her career, and she's still selling a lot of records. And I noticed with her album Renaissance, she didn't drop visuals this time, but she still was able to sell 300,000 in the first week, which is impressive considering that artists don't sell like that in this current day and age. Even though she sells a lot of records, the bulk of her profit doesn't come from her album sales. It actually comes from her touring. That's where she stands to make a lot of money, not only for herself, but for the label. Also, Taylor Swift is a huge heavy hitter. I mean, she's big. Her first week sales have always been very impressive. She did release a new album called Midnights, and I'm hearing that the album is going to sell well over 1 million units in the first week, which is absolutely insane, especially in this current climate in music. And also her re-recorded albums were doing crazy numbers as well. So Taylor Swift definitely is a huge heavy hitter in the industry, and her going on tour is only going to bring in more money for the industry. Lastly, Rihanna. Rihanna is who everybody is waiting for, because she's going to be one of the ones to get the music industry out of this drought, because she is a huge money maker. She is a hit maker, and everybody has been anticipating new music from her. In fact, she's set to release her first single in 6 years, and this is going to be a single from the Wakanda Forever soundtrack. Also, it was rumored that she is working on an album, and also she will headline the Super Bowl halftime show next year. So she's setting up everything perfectly. She's making sure she gets all of the exposure, and she's making sure she maximizes her profit in this music thing, because Rihanna knows that her main profit doesn't come from music, but she does have obligations to fulfill, so she has to drop more music. However, she's at a point where if she drops music, she has to make sure she goes big, because she wants to make some money from all of this too. She knows the label is going to eat a lot off of her, but she also wants to get her coins as well. But anyway, I brought this whole discussion up because I thought it was very interesting that Beyonce, Rihanna, and Taylor Swift are going on tour next year. I think this is some good news for the music industry because they could stand to make a lot of money. And that's all they really care about.
But it's rumored that Rihanna going on tour.
They're going to make them a priority every single time.
She might just drop that single.
Now, shifting gears a little bit, I want to talk a little bit about the singer Normani. I feel like Normani does not have the proper support from her label, RCA. Talking about this? And I did bring up that
giving the same narrative. Her team, and this is why it ain't dropping. It's just like, bro.
Article, and I was kind of talking about how a lot of times these labels don't want to really invest in newer artists. They're kind of scared that they'll lose money, and I can understand that from a business point. But a lot of times they want ready-made artists. They want artists who could do the work on their own before they really start paying attention to them. And I think this is what Normani is going through right now. She has to really prove to her label that she is worth the investment. I hate to say it, but I don't truly feel like her label believes in her. And this recent post from Brandy actually confirmed my suspicions. Brandy revealed that she did work with Normani on her debut album. And somebody asked her about it and said, Brandy, are you still working with Normani on her debut album? She said, I pray she keeps some of the things we did together, but sometimes it's out of the artist's control. But I love me some Normani. Now, when I saw this, I was a little annoyed because I was like, wait a minute. Normani has a song with Brandy, the living legend Brandy, the vocal Bible, and RCA is still holding this album back? Like, what is really going on? This kind of made me feel like the label doesn't care, which is a shame because she has a lot of potential. And Normani has had some very impressive streams for an artist who hasn't even released a debut album yet. However, RCA doesn't care about the big hits that she has. They only care about her consistency. There is a pressure for Normani to release a hit every time she drops. And if she's not making a hit, then RCA is going to pay her dust and delay her project again and again. So I do think Normani has to fight and prove that she is worth the investment. She had to fight and prove that for her song Wild Side. She actually paid for her own music video. And the budget for her music video was around $1 million.
There's a lot that I had to
you had to put up some
invest my own.
That's right. Invest.
Yeah, music video. Yeah. Alone. But I believe in
so it's over $1 million budget, huh? That's crazy.
Definitely.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, luckily for Normani, Wild Side did end up doing good. Even after all the obstacles she went through releasing the song, it performed well. If you look at the stats, it definitely wasn't a flop. Unfortunately, Normani's follow-up single, Fair, did not do as well. And because of this, the label decided to delay her yet again. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. RCA doesn't care if she has hits under her belt. They're looking for the next hit because they want to be convinced that she is worth the investment. If she doesn't perform well, RCA will be quick to turn their attention away from her, and they'll be quick to delay her project again and again and again. And the reason why they do that is because they simply don't believe in her. If they actually
drop the bitch and let her be independent.
The album and they'll watch and see how the audience receives it. But for some reason, they don't want to take that chance. And it's interesting to me because there are some artists on RCA who don't have the same numbers as Normani, but they get more chances and they're actually allowed to release their music on a consistent basis. But for some reason, Normani is not. And I don't understand why that is, but whatever the case is, it's pretty obvious that RCA is hesitant to release her music. I think they're making a mistake with how they're handling her career. I really do, because the more they delay her project, the more she's going to lose momentum, and she has to come back and work 10 times harder to prove herself and get back the public's attention again. So she's in a very tricky place. But I am hoping her next single performs well, because if it does perform well, that'll probably make her label release her music quicker. I don't know, but I am hoping that it would change things.
Too good.
But she definitely needs a hit. And I do want to bring up the singer Chloe Bailey, because she too is kind of going through a similar situation. She's not on RCA. She's actually under Columbia, and she's also signed to Beyonce's entertainment company, Parkwood. But she too expressed that her label has been holding her album back. She was on Twitter Spaces a couple of weeks ago, and she said that Columbia won't release her album until she makes them another hit song. Now, Have Mercy was a hit, but Chloe's other singles didn't perform the same way Have Mercy did. So she too is under pressure to put out a hit song, because if she doesn't, she'll face another delay. And she talked about that, and she also talked about Normani's situation too.
Speaking of Normani, y'all can kiss our black sis. Let me tell you something. I love Normani. You guys don't know half the shit that us as black women in the music industry go through. And from what I've seen, she works very hard. That's why I sympathize so much, because I feel like sometimes we go through the same thing. But nobody knows that. So, of course, where everyone else's lack and their weakness, it shows as a reflection on us. But, And I hate seeing how you guys will pit us against each other. Not you guys. I'm not talking like you guys, but people will. There can be multiple phenomenally bad performed. This is all. It does not just have to be one.
So that's what Chloe said about Normani, and I 100% agree with her and applaud her for saying what she said, especially when it comes to the whole comparison thing. I've said that before in one of my previous videos, so I'm glad that Chloe is letting people know that they can support them both. But I want to get back to what Chloe said about not being able to drop her album until she gets a hit. She also said this on Twitter Spaces, and I can't find the audio, but she too is in a very frustrated situation when it comes to her music releases, and she has to work really hard and put a lot into the promotion of her songs. And one thing I will say about Chloe is Chloe does put herself out there, and she also has a really good team. Parkwood Entertainment is a great management team. Having that connection to Beyonce definitely opens doors, but also she puts herself out there too. So she's been able to perform a lot. She's booked several performances, and she has also been acting and getting different brand deals. So she has been putting in a lot of work, and her team at Parkwood is just amazing. Even though Columbia has been holding back her releases, Parkwood is going to make sure she gets work and she stays visible. So that's a good thing about her situation. But still, it's been an obstacle for her to release her album. Now, she does have a new single coming out called For the Night, and this is her fourth single, I believe. And this single has to do well. And I don't necessarily think it has to be a smash hit song, but it does have to perform better than some of her previous releases, because if it doesn't, her label is just going to make things harder for her. So right now she's recruiting the comedian Drewski for the video, and I think the video is going to be funny. She also recruited Lotto to be featured on the song. Some people don't think this is a good idea. Personally, I would have liked if Chloe actually recruited an R&B male singer to be on the song. You know, somebody like Bryson Tiller. I think he would have been a better fit. But I think Chloe felt like having a hip-hop feature would help in some way.
His music is
she's trying to see what works. Also, she's been teasing the song for months to get people familiar with it. And she even revealed that For the Night is actually about the rapper Gunna. And she didn't mind revealing this information because she does hope that it will help with streams.
I'm going to tell y'all a little secret about For the Night. I might regret saying this, but hey, maybe it'll help in streams. I don't even think he knows this. I wrote For the Night about Gunna. Yep, I said it, bitch. I said it. I wrote that song after the Breakfast Club interview, I believe. That's how I was inspired for the song.
And people, some of their cousins, I hate the internet because they are always wrong. But girl, didn't you come out and say, "Oh, we just friends"? It's nothing like that. And now you saying you wrote a love song about?
I said it. I fucking said it. So y'all better stream the fucking song because I spilled the fucking tea. Y'all be talking about I need to spill the tea. I spilled the motherfucking tea.
So that's what Chloe said. And I think Chloe is really doing all of this because she wants to build people's interest in her single.
That's
because
cute.
Once again, this song for the night has to hit. If it doesn't,
When does it come out?
Columbia is going to delay her again. It's unfortunate, but this is what labels do to artists, especially new artists. They don't make them the priority. These artists have to do what they can to prove themselves and convince the label that they're worth the investment. But I hope Chloe and Normani don't have to be hindered for much longer. I want them to be able to release their album. I think they put in a lot of work, and they should get the opportunity to share their music with their fans. Anyway,
they look so cute in these clips. So I can focus on it. I even stopped to take a picture of Normani's hair at one point because, yes, sir. But yeah, as far as their music goes, it's enough for me. And I've been trying to get into it, but it just has not been giving anything at all. Normani came out with that slow, boring song after Wild Side. And I was like, what is this? I remember I reacted to it on my Patreon. I was like, this is so boring. Like, why would she follow up Wild Side with this particular song? It made zero sense. And Chloe's songs haven't been doing well either. Because they haven't been good after that one big hit that she had. What was that shit called? I forgot. But the one that everybody liked. After that, she's been dropping one mediocre song after another. And it's like, okay, what are we supposed to do with this? So I kind of understand why their labels don't want to release the albums. They are waiting for, more buzz around their name and more good music to drop. But, the music that they're releasing just isn't doing it for the masses, apparently. Nobody's really fucking with it like that. So, yeah, I see what the issue is. But, yeah, you just got to work harder and come out with better music. And I understand what they're saying as far as black women have it harder. I get it. That makes sense. But y'all music is not hitting. I think that plays a part as well. The songs aren't hitting like that. We don't really like them. Of course, I'm sure there are people who love them, but most people aren't really fucking with it like that. So I think that's the main problem. But sure, we'll see what happens. Y'all let me know what y'all thought, though. Let me know what other videos you want me to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next time. Bye!